Love, light, and blessings. This is Shamanic Iraq Priestess here, and I'm making a video today. I'm getting ready to go out with my girls. The boys are with their dad, and the spirits have been like buzzing in my ears, literally buzzing in my ears. As many of you that have been following me for a while know, I am a shaman of both African and Native heritage. So I practice Native spirituality of my tribe, the Arawak Indians, as Native Americans aren't lumped into one group. Each tribe practices their own religion, has their own specific deities, and have their ways of practicing their spirituality. So you can't put all Native Americans in one category, nor can you put Native Caribbeans in the same category as an American, Indian, and things like that. Same thing goes for African traditional religion. You have Lucini, you have Ifa, you have Santeria, you have Candomblé, you have Espiritismo Sancismo, which can work with African spirits. You have Espiritismo, which is Criollo, native to Puerto Rico mostly, and other Caribbean islands. You have voodoo that's practiced in Haiti. You have a different form of voodoo that's practiced in Louisiana, which is different from the voodoo that's practiced in Haiti. There are some spirits in Louisiana voodoo that are not the same as the ones in Haiti. So that being said, I have to say this because my Orishas are telling me you need to say this, please. I'm not claiming to be the keeper of all knowledge. You can work with whatever spirits you want. I can't tell people what to do in their personal life. But it does bother me when people make videos and they're full of misinformation. I made an Orisha series and I made this channel because I got tired of watching people demonize certain things in my spirituality as demonic, less than, but then at the same time making money off of my spirits through heritage and of many of our spirits through heritage. That doesn't mean that spirits don't come to people outside the culture. I'm not saying that. But my problem is when I know for a fact the spirits didn't come to somebody because of the titles they give the spirits. An Orisha is not a god or goddess. Because in most African traditional religions, especially with the Orishas, there is one main god. Not a goddess, but a god. Olundumbare. Some people believe that Olundumbare is male, and some people say that Olundumbare has no gender. But there's one god. So it's monothesis. They don't believe in many gods. An Orisha is an Orisha. I did make videos comparing them at times to different gods and goddesses because I wanted people to understand the correlations between the two, but never did I say they were similar energies. Does that make sense? So if I make a video, for example, and I say Yemaya, or I would use, let's say Oshun has a very sexual energy like Aphrodite. I'm not saying that Aphrodite and Oshun are the same spirit, because I know in certain paths people do, and that's fine, gods and goddess, but that's separate. I would never take a pagan deity such as Aphrodite and say, okay, you are an Orisha. I would never do that because she served as a goddess. And I have to respect the tradition that she comes from and serve her in the way that people have been serving that particular energy and deity. The same thing goes for the Orishas and Loas. There are certain offerings that they like. That's why I made videos with people that like, oh, I feel like these spirits have called to me, so that you can serve them, because we serve them. We don't work with them, we serve them. And there's certain offerings, certain candles, certain rituals, certain drummings that you give to the Orishas, because the Orishas have walked before us. And this religion is thousands and thousands of years old. Some of the African traditional religions predate Christianity. And it bothers me when I have decks like this. Yemaya, grandmother of the ocean. She's a white lady. I don't have anything wrong with Caucasian people. My children are mixed. I've dated and married white men. I don't have anything wrong with that. I'm not a racist person. That's not what I'm coming from. Where I'm coming from is this. If you would have done your research, creator of this deck, you would know that Yemaya is the color of onyx. She's not the color of onyx. Now, some might say, but yeah, but then you guys use saints in Santeria because we had no choice. When the master is whipping you in the back and threatening to kill you, you're going to use what works with you. And that's why Santeria synchronized saints. It was done because of survival. The saints and the Catholicism, the Catholic prayers are a part of Santeria. And it's a religion that many people died. Many of my African ancestors died keeping these traditions and religions alive. That's why when somebody's initiated, there's a lot of things that they don't share. They'll share basic things for non-initiate, but there's a lot of secrets we don't share because people have died for that. Sometimes that's the only thing that we have, because let's look at where African traditional religions come from. Let's look, for example, in Haiti. Haiti is a beautiful country, but there's a lot of things that go on in Haiti. And sometimes their religion and their loas, which the loas are ancestors. Loas are not goddesses and gods. And I do practice voodoo. And I don't share that a lot in this channel because the person who's teaching me has sworn me to secrecy. And as a respect to her family and as a respect to my grandfather, which I recently found out is of Haitian descent, that came to Puerto Rico and lost his life in the hurricane, I keep her secrets. I may make later videos about some things that I'm allowed to share about voodoo, but there's a lot of things I can't because, again, that's for initiates to know. There's not because we're racist when we keep these secrets. It's not because we think we're better than anybody else. It's not because we're trying to hold the spirits hostage. It's because to some of us, in certain parts of the world where the economy isn't as good, where there's constant prejudice, constant corruption of government, sometimes the laws and the Orishas are the only thing that provides us comfort. So Yemaya is a black spirit. She is a Orisha. She is not this color. And when I saw this, because I'd never seen a walkthrough of this deck, I'm going to be honest, I cried. Because sometimes Yemaya, which is synchronized with La Virgen de Regla, okay? Sometimes that's all the African slave had. There were some people that did not want to go into the New World. They didn't want to go into the Americas because there was slavery in the Caribbean as well. I think sometimes we forget that slavery was not only in the United States. Slavery was all over the world. The displacement of indigenous people is also something that was all over the world. And that's why I understand why there's some Native American tribes that keep a lot of things secret. My daughter's boyfriend is Navajo, pure Navajo. And there's a lot of things he doesn't tell me. I'm from a different tribe. And I don't get upset with him because of that, because that's his culture and that's his religion. Whatever he shares, if he feels so to share, I do that. But I never say I am a Navajo practitioner. I have no right to say that. I was not born in the tribe. I did not study in the reservation. I claim Arawak, Taino, because that's in my blood. You know? And yes, there are people outside of a tradition that are called to do that. If you're outside of a tradition and you're called to not even work, I have to change that vocabulary, serve a spirit, I have no problem making a video to show you some basic stuff. That's why I made this channel. I respect that more when somebody asks me a question because they want to be respectful than people actually making videos and making money and calling spirits the wrong thing and giving misinformation, because to me that's fraudulent. That's fraudulent. Because right there off the bat, I'm going to know you're not initiated, because Santeros do not call them gods and goddesses. We don't do that. The Orishas are Orishas and the Loas are the Loas. You know? We have to remember that there's a history. There's a difference between hoodoo and voodoo with 2 O's, which is practiced in Louisiana. There's a difference between voodoo that is native to Haiti, and there's a difference in Santeria. There's a difference between Santeria, Cano Doble, Ifa, Lucimi, and there's a difference between Espiritismo and Espiritismo Sancista. Espiritismo Sancismo is a infusion of voodoo and Santeria practices. So these are all different branches of different religions. And shamanism is different parts of the world. So I have a different tradition. Let's say someone who's a Native American My practice is going to be different in shamanism because mine is coming from a more Caribbean-based spirituality. And I want to leave you guys with this. It's a poem called Upon the Seas. For the honor of Yemaya, que así sea. O mío Yemaya, mother of all and goddess of the seas, grant me safe passage, be it to the land of tears. Over your waters pristine and clear, remember my face in your heart so dear. I feel the drumming from the dark deep, chanting lament for Africa's embrace. Songs of prayers crash upon sands, whispers in the palms from gentle breeze. Children playing, mothers cooking, fathers counseling, music to my ears. I feel the kicks and life within, my heart heavy with foreboding pain. Warned of what would be, how can we stay free? The clang of chains dragging down my future dreams so dear. This soul within me yearns for daylight. Alas, sunshine shroud in the gray. Hark are those children singing, choirs of creatures and angels deep. Calls from whales, seals, and porpoise near. The children's chants grow louder still. Eardrums pumping, I lean to listen. Mirror of waters, faces so clear, and then a shadow, a face so dear. The women's feature melt over mine, the mother's eyes ever so clear. Come, they beckon, my child and yours, save him from a fate of whips. Come, they beckon, my child and yours, save him from a fate of whips, of whips. My heart pounds beats to the dance of freedom. I lean out arms and tilt into the liquid world I dive, feeling the embrace of love sincere. The sign of the sea speaks over the shouts another. With fierce croak eyes, with longing look back towards the east, searching, yearning, and moaning. The chants rise to the heavens, O mia Yemaya, mother so dear. And so the middle passage is cluttered and foaming with souls who sought freedom within the waters rather than face a land of chains. And so, listen to that part again. And so the middle passage is cluttered and foaming with souls with sought freedom within the waters rather than face a land of chains. I am a descendant of slavery. And so my religion means everything to me. The Groit watched the seas unfold, a new story mesmerized clear. The route was plowed by thousands of ships, heavy with sobs and iron. All the while Yemaya counted and embraced the soul who swam by. Back to the heavens, to their homeland, Africa. She's from Africa. As a refuge from fear. Centuries have passed. Storms have raised the ocean deep, disturbing the bones of those voices that whispers their stories of courage over fear, justice over evil. The angels carry pride on their spears. The creaking of the wood on the boats haunt us still. From the depths and from the heights, the choir chants a song of love. Africa, the cry is clear. Let us never bow to fear. And that is a prayer that's said every time there is an Espiritista Misa, because Yemaya is even sacred to Espiritismo. She is our Black mother, our beautiful Black mother. And so when we make things like this, it makes me hurt for my ancestors. They were whipped and sold as property. And I don't think the person made this card to be insulting. But before you coin our religion, do your research. Talk to someone of African descent. Talk to someone of Caribbean descent that still holds these traditions. And then maybe then these creators will think twice. These are not God and goddesses. These are Orishas in their own right. And the same way they lived hundreds of years ago when they consoled. And when Yemaya extended her hands out to her many children that rather die than be slaves, to make her white is a disrespect to her and all her children that follow her. And I'm sorry I got emotional. That breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. There's no more rewarding feeling than when somebody of African descent tells me, I want to learn about my ancestors. There's no greater joy than even when somebody outside of our tradition tells me, I see that you make videos. I want to do a consultation with you. I want to learn about these spirits. That makes me happy because that's showing respect. to that spirit and that culture. Anybody can practice these religions, but ask someone of that religion how to properly work with these spirits. Don't take our spirituality, whitewash it, coin it, and steal. That is the true meaning of cultural appropriation. Until the next video, guys, much love, light, and blessings. Thank you so much for watching this video, and until the next video.